Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I got this question. I've sort of answered a little bit about this before. I think this video on like I hate web design or something like that. I hate web development. Why I hate web development. But I wanted to specifically answer this question. This question come from Michael, and he says, "Hi John, I do have one more question." He had already asked me a question, so you can ask me more than one question. Sometimes, if you ask a good one. I'm not terrible at doing front end per se. I can implement an interactive single page application, but using a standard CSS framework like Bootstrap, and it will look good, but that's where it ends. Do you think anyone can get good at making things pretty, designer stuff? Is it always an acquired skill? Keep pumping those videos. Kind regards, Fred. So his name is actually Fred. I don't know why I said Michael. It's Fred. So, can you become good at design? Yes! You can become good at anything that you want to, except being taller. That is the one skill that you cannot become good at, is being taller. I've tried to become taller. I want to be like 7 feet tall, but it's just not working. So no, in all honesty, yeah, I honestly believe that pretty much anything you can become good at. A lot of people say, well, you don't have the eye for it, you know, design eye, and they wear turtleneck shirts and whatever, and they have, you know, scraggly beards and nice thick glasses, but that doesn't make them special. You can do that too if you can grow a beard. You can buy the glasses, right? Like you could do that. You could wear really tight pants. Like you could do that. That's fine. You know, the thing is, what I'm saying is, just like you can change your physical appearance, it's the same thing. In your brain, you can get an eye for design, right? You can get I'm not a designer. I'm not good at design, but I never devoted a whole lot of time to it. But I am good at drawing. I taught myself how to draw, right? So I've got somewhat of that skill. But people can definitely develop this skill. This is you know, if you look at, I have learned enough about design to see classes on design that teach design, and they teach it in it seems mystical to you, right? And to me, because we don't do it, because we don't know it. But I read this really good book on typography. Now, I didn't retain any of it because I wasn't actually that interested in typography, but what I was interested in is basically the question that you're asking. It was like, could anyone actually learn how to like make things pretty with typography? And there was this book, I can't remember the name of it now, but it laid it out for you, buddy. I mean, it totally laid it out. It told you like how to do the kerning and how, you know, different sizes of text and the fonts and how to space them on the page, and it gave you like these formula, like breaking the page into thirds and stuff like that. And so, and I'm sure that anyone who's done photography is probably similar, is that there's a science. I mean, there's always, I mean, even in our profession, right? As a software developer, when you write code, there's a science to it, right? There's also a creative aspect to it, but everyone has creativity. I don't know one non-creative person. I know some people who don't let their creative side out, but we've got it. But the combination, like the real masters, are the people that have the creative and they unleash that creative, but they also have the practical and the knowledge of it. When you look at great painters, right? You look at Rembrandt, you look at Van Gogh. I went through Van Gogh's museum. In fact, I think I did a video about Van Gogh and Van Gogh's museum. But when I was in Amsterdam, I went through his museum, and you could see his old stuff where he sucked, but he like tried all these different styles, right? He looked at, even though when you look at art and you're like, oh wow, it's so creative and beautiful, there's a lot going beyond that. There's a lot of science, a lot of practicality, right? When Michelangelo painted some of his paintings, like he figured out a technique to make the feathers like on angels like come out from the page by like layering down one level of paint and then another one on top of it, you know, and figuring that out. There's a technical aspect to it. So I think everything pretty much has a technical aspect to it. You know, I did acting for a while. I did acting classes, and acting, again, that's one of those things where you'd say, well, it's just you either have the talent or you don't. Not so true. There's a very technical aspect to acting, right? There's a lot of things to know and how to act and how to enunciate your voice and what to, you know, stage presence. There's a ton of stuff that's technical. There's the creative aspect, but you got to combine it with the technical. So honestly, if you want to learn design, I totally think you can, but it's not something that you're just going to be like picking up like that. It's a devotion. So if you're willing to devote the time, I've always thought that, you know, if I continued down the road, if I didn't go and build Simple Programmer, I probably would have devoted some time and learn design, because I always thought, you know, the most useful software developer is someone who can write out the code and has a really good eye for design. Those are like the magic unicorns. You can't find those people. And when you do, they're so valuable because they're awesome, because they can build anything, right? And they can make it look good. So anyway, great question. Thanks for asking that, Fred. Really appreciate it. If you've got a question for me, email me at john@simpleprogrammer.com. And if you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Take care.